Welcome to Intuitive Astrology with Molly McCord. Thank you so much for joining me today as we take a look at the astrological energies unfolding from February 12th until February 19th. We have a big dynamic Leo full moon on February 12th. And then after that, the energies subside a bit as we'll see Mercury enter Pisces and the Sun enter Pisces as well. Those are really the only main transits of this week. And as both switch into Pisces, we have more of a focus on the water signs, how we're feeling, what we're processing. And of course, we still have Mars retrograde in Cancer, as Mars will station direct on February 23rd at 17 degrees, 1 minute of Cancer. So we also have this slow moving Mars right now that is asking us to truly check in with our heart, our core needs, what we're really feeling, how that discomfort might be moving through us, and also how we are containing energies. Now, that would be a good theme to self-reflect upon as we move into more water signs. As energy containers, we can accumulate and collect, often unconsciously, more than we need to hold. So what do you need to release and let go, especially as we move into Pisces season? And I'll be discussing that a bit more in today's show. Now, as I'm recording this on February 12th, the Leo full moon has perfected, and now the energies are beginning to separate from that exact full moon, with the Sun at 24 degrees, 6 minutes of Aquarius, and the moon was at 24 degrees, 6 minutes of Leo. Right before the full moon, both experience exact squares to Uranus in Taurus at 23 degrees, 20 minutes. And now the moon will move on to make an exact opposition to Mercury at 26 degrees, 31 minutes of Aquarius. So the energy is still in play and unfolding as these fixed signs are being required to evolve and change. If there's been an area of your life that you have resisted growth, advancement, changes, if you've held back in any capacity, this full moon is designed to break you free, but through that fiery spark of Leo that wants you to connect with a creative passion, a leadership endeavor, an area of life that honors your own sovereignty. So this could be a call back into what your heart desires, what you love, what excites you. Again, a part of yourself you've been disconnected from, and you might be surprised at what that is, because the Uranus influence is about these unexpected developments that we're also meant to think through and personally integrate. The Leo energy is associated with the solar plexus as well as the sacral chakra, and you could have that creative urge to do something very different than what you planned or expected of yourself. There could be a sense that you're meant to break free of the status quo, to step away from anything that you previously wanted or considered necessary, and you may need time to think it through, to plan the next steps, figure out how will this work, how will these pieces come together, what are all the pieces here that I need to consider, and that is actually where Mercury in Aquarius is quite strong. So there could be a lot of ideas to solve or things to figure out right now that are showing you a new approach, a new direction, and a new way to advance that was blocked. It's interesting because I'm feeling like the strong energy we've experienced between Aquarius and Taurus since late January is asking us to acknowledge and understand we don't know it all. We don't have it all figured out, but you can work with that from a higher perspective of co-creation with the universe. And there could be things that you would never consider that show up or come through that are the next steps or provides a solution. And I think that's the discomfort here of, well, what can I count on? Because one direction might seem impossible. Like, I don't know how this would happen or come together or work. I don't see how all these pieces could match up and work cohesively. And so part of what we are facing is the fact that we don't have to know all the ways things can develop and unfold. And part of the force here of that Uranus and Taurus is forcing us to trust the discomfort, to trust the unknown, and be okay with that, because the energies are going to reveal in due time, in divine timing, what can unfold or work or come together, especially if it's meant to. And this could be any area of your life, right? If you're going through a big transition or a small transition. I mean, if there's small things in your life that are frustrating you, that you're realizing, I don't understand how this can improve or what can happen next, this just feels like a dead end. And this energy has that limitation quality to it. That's part of the fixed signs. The fixed signs are like, oh, this is the end. This is the limitation. This is where you can't go any further because the energy isn't going to budge or change. And the universe is saying that's never true. That's never really the case, especially for the long term. So we're feeling a frustration here. Again, it could be an impossibility of, oh, that's just a wild dream, or, oh, that is just an absurd idea. Let me send that back to the nonsense factory where it came from, because I'm not getting how any of this could happen or could work or could be solved. And that, of course, is part of our human limitations. Now, with the strong Aquarius energy, we are being asked to go higher and to not have it all figured out, even as we move ahead into these new energies. We're opening up to more quantum potentials, and we're opening up to things that we aren't meant to see. I feel it too. I'm hearing the word delight. Like the universe wants to delight us at times, to keep us in a state of awe and surprise and wow, that's incredible. How could that work? Or how did that happen? And that's part of the invitation here that I'm feeling, especially since late January and through February. Stay open to the awe and wonder of positive surprises or positive developments that perhaps are coming together behind the scenes and realigning in a way that we don't know or see right now. As I say that, I'm also getting the visual of an archway being built, and then the keystone is placed at the top of the archway, and the keystone comes from out of the blue or is a delightful surprise. And that keystone, of course, is the very top central portion of the archway. It's the summit or the apex of the archway, and it holds everything together. It provides that cohesive element to the construction of the arch. And I'm seeing that the keystone hasn't arrived yet. So do your part on your side of the archway. And I don't know what this could mean for you. Trust what it means for you. If there's something you're developing in your life that you're putting energy towards, you're building it up, or you desire it, you want it, it's what you're ready to manifest. Maybe that keystone, that really big connecting element isn't here yet. But if you are building the other side of the archway, I feel is being built by the universe to say, yes, let's bring this together. Let's make this happen. Let's get you that new job, that next start, that next manifestation that is on your path and is correct for you. And it's interesting because now what they're showing me, my guides is what I mean when I say they. And for those who are newer to the podcast, this information is channeled and it comes through as I speak it, as I look at the astrology chart and receive the information and the components of it. Then I will access messages from my galactic team. And I have a playlist on my YouTube channel called Channeled Messages. And if you go back and look at some of those earlier messages and listen to them, they're an introduction of some of the guides I work with, the different galactic councils, the different energies I feel arrive, and the higher messages that, of course, I desire to send your way to see if they resonate with you. So as they are showing me this archway, what they're showing me is that it actually turns into a portal, and it turns into that circular portal of energy that is being created. And in the 3D, it's created more slowly because we're dealing with density, with physical elements. But they're showing me this archway, and the second half of the archway that creates creates the full circle is in these higher frequencies. So I'm seeing this as a match between 3D and 5D manifestations, and that in this portal is where things move through at lightning speed, and there's an acceleration of manifestations, but it's the building it and trusting the 3D process that takes the most amount of time. And that could be where you're at. That could be what you're seeing unfold in your reality. And there could also be an element here of not fully trusting it. Like you're slowly creating it because you don't really know if this is going to be anything or if this is what you want. That type of hesitation slows down the energy. It slows down the ability for the other components to arrive. And so what I'm feeling is like, put your all into what you are maybe not fully believing yet. Meaning it's just a wild idea. Why not? Go for it. Trust in the universe. Put your energy into miracles and delight and happiness and things coming together in incredible, beautiful ways, because the universe is a miracle matrix. Miracles happen all the time and we don't always see them, but they're always unfolding in our energy fields, whether those are micro, minuscule miracles or the bigger life-changing ones. So that's what I'm really feeling the strongest here as Aquarius season closes out with this Leo full moon and the square from Uranus in Taurus, which is shaking up our 3D reality and our own personal density, requiring us to shake off where we have become too comfortable, where we've relied upon things not changing, because this is a time of big, drastic changes that will continue for the next number of years, and it's only going to get faster. It's only going to speed up. And we're going to need to continually check in at our own pacing with these cosmic energies, because we want to ideally remain in a connection with them that we can pace and stay in alignment and stay aware of the increase in speed. So as the energies continue to accelerate here in 2025, especially as Neptune and Saturn move into Aries and Uranus moves into Gemini. So consider right now, January and February, a heads up here on what you need to clear out and change, or at least be open to change, because as Uranus moves into Gemini and the energies start to take off much faster, those quick developments are going to be happening for all of us individually and collectively. And here you have an understanding of any limitations, resistance, or perceptions that might be holding you back from what you really want or what is meant for you as Uranus moves into Gemini. The inability to change, grow, or evolve will hinder you as we move further into 2025. This is not the year where things stay the same, as if you didn't know that. This is not the year where we hold back and put our heels in cement to resist these universal forces. Rather, it's the exact opposite. Change is happening whether or not you choose it or whether or not you feel ready. There could be something to look at around any deep-rooted fears of change, what that means, if it feels threatening, unsafe, disruptive, to the point of being related to trauma or any previous incidences in your world that were really jarring. The energies are only going to create more change. And that is something that we can't necessarily see too far down the line what it's going to look like. But if we are intentional, if you are in your power as a creator of your timeline, a creator of your reality, then these fast-moving developments are going to sync up, and you're going to find that you are manifesting faster and sooner because you're already in alignment with that higher trajectory of growth, with those higher manifestations that you really want. So this is about really owning the fact that we are here to experience change. This is evolutionary change that's unfolding. All areas of our life are moving through these experiences at different rates of change. And that means we also have to take care of ourselves during the in-between phases, when everything's flying around and moving around and nothing has fully landed. We have to take care of our emotional selves, our primal programming. We have to take care of our nervous systems and anything going on in our mind, especially if it connects to worst case scenarios or extremes of any kind. There will be parts of ourselves we have to continually calm down in order to feel more steady and grounded during the chaotic experience of change. And this is chaos that we're feeling in the frequencies. There is a lot going on in the frequencies that are being upgraded and removed at the same time. Evolution is messy, and we are living real-world case studies of chaos theory. Chaos theory goes into what we perceive as random, surprising, or unpredictable elements all working together in some surprising fashion or manner. So we are living in the chaos theory age, and at an individual level, this is allowing yourself to burst open as a form of personal growth, allowing yourself to change and evolve into a new version of yourself before it's fully arrived. I've mentioned before how areas of our lives and parts of our world are ending permanently, and we're going to look back and realize, wow, that was actually a really beautiful time, and there was a lot we had that is no longer a part of our everyday existence. There's energies that are fading out that are going to show us in hindsight how we've been in a simpler time. And I know that's hard to fathom right now, but that's going to be part of the contrast of, wow, those were good times. We did have it easy or simpler, and we didn't even know it. And we're moving into this period of ongoing dynamic change that will bring about new, exciting potentials, ways of living, ways of connecting with each other and experiencing our world. And they're going to be not only fast moving, but also potentially mind blowing in their actuality. You know, there's already these aviation plans to travel between different cities within 40 minutes or an hour across the US, New York to LA in 45 minutes. Supersonic transport options are being developed. Accelerated aviation is what we're moving into. Now, this is just one example of what's in the works with these accelerated energies. But if you take this and apply it to multiple areas of life, obviously it changes not only how we live and experience our daily worlds, but it changes our personal energy fields, what we expect, what we anticipate, and even how we are energetically, physically being reconfigured into these new realities now. And so if that timeline is 2 years, 5 years, 7 years, this is where we're going to have these accelerated experiences in all areas of our lives. And I feel that right now we're getting a glimpse of it. We're checking in on how it feels for ourselves personally, and we're understanding at some level of consciousness that change is happening, ready or not. How are you adapting? Are you open to it? Are you pushing it away? Maybe both, right? There's a lot of uncertainty as well. But that's where we're going. And that's also where 2025 is taking us into these new territories and these new places. So if you're curious, in terms of the aviation development, there is a supersonic airliner that is being developed in Greensboro, North Carolina at the Super Factory. And this supersonic airliner already has orders from United, American, and Japan Airlines. So that's about going to global destinations 2 times faster. And all of this is in alignment with the age of Aquarius energies, since Aquarius rules aviation. We will experience more of a change of pace this week as Mercury enters Pisces on February 14th, adding in a soft, loving touch to Valentine's Day and reconnecting us to how we're truly feeling and needing more time alone, escapism, and needing a break from everything swirling around. Mercury in Pisces could show you where you're experiencing mental fatigue and you want to just put up that do not disturb sign to have some time to process it, to sit with it, and maybe to not think about it at all. So when Mercury goes into Pisces, we are searching for a mental break and some downtime. It can be harder to find the words you want to say or to express everything on your mind. There could be a desire rather to tune into more things that are lighter, creative, more expressive. Your favorite songs on replay could be how you are processing energy or moving through something that has been mentally intense. The dreamy quality of Pisces can be readily sought out as well. And then the sun will enter Pisces on February 18th at 5:06 a.m. Eastern Time. And the sun moving into Pisces reinforces these strong Pisces themes that are already in the collective. So then we will have the sun, Mercury, Saturn, North Node, and Neptune all in Pisces together starting February 18th. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It is mutable water. And part of the dance of the Pisces energies is to remind us that we're more than this human body. We are more than simply this human experience. And where do you go to alleviate yourself of the human burdens? Where do you go to take a break, to get some downtime, to relax, and also connect to the higher spiritual principles that can give you an understanding of the energies in our lives and in your world? That Pisces energy is a seeker of understanding, of higher thoughts. It's connected to the unspoken realms and how we're able to basically get a grip on the lessons, emotions, experiences, and healing themes that our humanness is moving through. Healthy Pisces will go into escapism for a break, to relax. Pisces is the vacation energy as well, where you need to get away from the office, put away the phone, and allow yourself to just be. It reminds us of the necessity of beingness, that for all the ways we hurry and rush and we have our to-do lists, what are you now needing to balance in your life that is not only good for your body, but it supports your emotions, your mind, and your soul? Higher Pisces is trusting that what hasn't presented itself will, having faith that everything is always in motion. Change is the only constant. And when you have faith and you invest in that faith, you are co-signing with the universe that this is going to work out. This is going to come together. There's things here that are in flux, and I trust and have faith that it will present itself as it needs to. Pisces is divine timing. And when you live truly trusting in divine timing, there's a part of you that carries a high vibe optimism, a sense of, okay, let's just see where this goes. Let's see what happens next. I know there's ways that things can come together, even when it seems impossible, ridiculous, or insurmountable. And part of that faith-based optimism can feel like you're not walking with your feet on the ground all the time, that there's a sense of floating and flowing above the ground as well. Now, the lower expressions of Pisces, especially when we have this many planets and the North Node in Pisces, is to be aware of the unhealthy expressions that we can seek out of habit, addiction, escapism, coping mechanisms, and the ways we numb ourselves to reality. This can be strong avoidance of being able to handle the responsibilities of life, of not wanting to show up or take on what is needed or required, skirting out of responsibilities, not following through on commitments. It's the escape artist, or the disappearing act is part of how Pisces can present itself. But with Saturn currently in Pisces, there are more consequences for any of those ongoing habits or behaviors. So keep in mind that there is more of a seriousness here in this Pisces season, and you might find yourself face to face with some of those consequences, choices, or behaviors that you haven't followed through on. With Saturn here in Pisces, there's things you have to take care of. You can't procrastinate, you can't push it off, you can't disappear and expect that everything else is going to go away. So as the sun enters Pisces on February 18th, you might have some kind of checking in point from the universe about what you need to take care of over the next 4 weeks, especially what you need to close out, clean up, manage, where the energies need to be addressed, the things that you have to change, especially if they are unhealthy or don't truly support you. It's also worth noting that the end of February 27th, we have the Pisces new moon, which will be at 9 degrees 41 minutes of Pisces. And this Pisces new moon actually begins eclipse season. And that's because our first eclipse in March is the Virgo lunar eclipse. So we're moving into a time of looking at what you need to shift and change and what is being closed out in the Virgo areas of your chart. The South Node is in Virgo, which is asking you to make improvements and changes in the Virgo areas of your life, asking you to realistically assess, does this still work for me? Does this still serve me? And to be clear and direct that there are things you need to let go of. You've outgrown it. It no longer supports you. It's no longer effective. Virgo energy is methodical and precise. And if you're not seeing results, if you're not seeing what you want, then the universe is signaling it's time. It's time for some changes here. So that Pisces new moon starts eclipse season because 2 weeks later, on March 14th, the Virgo lunar eclipse occurs at 24 degrees of Virgo, and that's basically a giant headlight on what needs to go, is no longer effective, and where you're experiencing big changes in your life. And I actually want to highlight that we're going to have 4 eclipses in Virgo into 2027. 2 years of Virgo eclipses here. So this is where we're really cleaning up and adjusting our habits, routines, lifestyles. I feel this directly related to our mental and physical health and what we need to shift and change that is going to allow us to be in these higher frequencies, to be healthier, to feel stronger, to be cleaner and clearer in the higher frequencies. So these Virgo eclipses are going to show you what is unhealthy. And I want to give you that heads up because you might already be getting a sense of it. You might be realizing, oh, I'm eating too much sugar or too many carbs, or there's things in my life that aren't working for me and they're dragging me down, right? I'm exhausted. I'm overworked. I'm not balancing what I need. I'm not giving myself that time off or that time away because there's always more to do. And Virgo is the doer. So yes, we started talking about Pisces season, and I just want to give you the heads up that the other side of your chart, the Virgo energy, is going to be very important over the next 2 years because of the 4 Virgo eclipses that begin in March. I also have more of a deep dive analysis of these South Node in Virgo energies in a separate program that helps you connect the dots and understand how to work with the endings that will be unfolding in Virgo. And then also connects you to what you are embracing and welcoming in Pisces. So that is an online course about the South Node in Virgo and North Node in Pisces. And it gives you those specifics of what needs to change and shift. So please check that out because it gives you a roadmap into what you are moving through for the first time in 19 years. Since it takes the nodes of fate 19 years to make a full cycle around all 12 astrology signs. So overall this week, the energies are going to get quieter. There's going to be more time and space to process, detach, listen to yourself. Hopefully you're able to honor that as needed because we need to rest. And that's another theme here of Pisces season. The overwhelm is real. The exhaustion is real. So come back into yourself. Take those naps, give yourself the downtime, don't overcommit, don't fill up the calendar. This is going to be a Pisces season of allowing yourself to adjust, allowing yourself to listen to what your higher self is directing you to and calling in. This is also a time to embrace your power as a creator, to embrace your ability to create exactly what you want and to visualize it perhaps through that archway example, to see how you're putting energy towards something. And even though you don't know the how, the what, or the when, allowing yourself to be in that power of working with the universe and calling in that keystone or that miracle development, that is where you're going to have some beautiful unfoldings, especially in the second half of this year. But in the meantime, take care of your energy, allow yourself to step away and detach as needed, and also honor that others will be doing the same. Some people just might not be as available. They might be harder to track down or get a response from. But I feel that as we move into the strong Pisces energy, especially Mercury entering into Pisces, there's less to communicate externally as we're in a more receptive mode of listening to ourselves, our intuition, and our brilliant guidance. So I hope this week brings you some delights, some downtime, an opportunity to enjoy the best of what is changing as it's presenting itself. Remember the power of faith, of divine timing. Remember how we are designed to trust and to connect to the higher realms and to go there as needed, because as soon as you initiate more of that relationship with your higher self, you're also going to feel it in return. That's part of our human sovereignty and our human free will, is that we are the ones in charge of saying how much of a connection we want with our higher selves, and this would be a beautiful time to strengthen it. Be sure to check out my course on the nodes of fate, as they will signal to you where that North Node in Pisces is bringing in new developments for you, and where that South Node in Virgo is closing out areas of your life so that they can be improved and upgraded. I'll be back every Monday and Wednesday for a new podcast episode. You can find all of my current courses and offerings over at mollymccord.online. And as always, thank you so much for joining me. It's a delight to connect with you through this wild world of astrology, and I look forward to continuing our conversation here as we move into Pisces season. Take good care, and I'll see you soon.